question of what the NEC calls is no fee stress that they intend to introduce for first-year students of universities. And I'm sure you've dealt with issues of admissions and those. What do you make of the policy, first of all? The proposal on the table?
Yeah, before I come to that, I want to make a further statement regarding Galamsey.
Okay.
Now it is clear to us what Galamsey is doing to reproduction health, what it's doing to health in general. The threat it poses to our finances, the threat it poses to the environment. Those are clear.
Okay.
But we are left with one step, and that is one dangerous thing to happen.
Okay.
If Galamseyers start deciding who becomes the president of the country.
If they start to make a decision as to who leads us.
Yes. That will become more troubling.
Okay.
You just read around the drug business in Mexico and the rest.
Okay.
In Latin America, when the drug lords started influencing politics, it became a serious issue.
Okay.
I do not know whether they have started influencing politics. That is the reason why the scale has gone up the way it is. And we also need to be looking at that to ensure that we take the hands of Galamseyers in financing politics.
So financing is one of the major areas we should look at.
Yeah, that is a serious threat. And so if Galamseyers are able to put somebody in power, then it means he will not listen to whatever you are doing. So when you say something, you go back and cut the corners about what is supposed to be done, and Galamsey will continue. So that is another thing we need to be looking at.
Because you're just reminding me of one of the major things some small scale miners said when the president imposed a moratorium on them. They said they actually contributed to bringing him to power. So they were not happy that they brought to power was the one taking that step.
So I'm indicating that is one challenge.
Dangerous aspect.
And that we need to look at that if we are to succeed in the fight against Galamsey. Because if they are the one putting a president in office, then to a large extent the president will have to do what they want.
Okay.
And perhaps that is why Galamsey is not dying down.
Curtail their influence before they become too powerful to do it.
Yeah.
I see. Well, now let's come to the no fee stress policy. Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah. So let's start from free SHS.
Okay.
So take a scenario that 1,000 students, they cannot do anything about their education.
Okay.
That is why free SHS has financed them.
Okay.
So they complete free SHS. And we know that our education is such that we do not terminate at SHS.
Yeah.
Very few people will get some jobs, maybe in some security setup and the rest to do. Even that one, climbing up becomes a challenge to them. Yeah. So the ultimate is that you should terminate at university. Now, so those 1,000 people that cannot afford SHS education, and you take them through. Now, what do you want them to do? So that is the picture we need to be appreciating.
Okay.
So we have a lot of those people.
So the question is, what happens next to the people who are provided opportunity to get into
exactly
school? Okay.
Bearing in mind that we do not terminate education to become meaningful at the SHS. Okay. So which means that we need to plan for those people at least to transition well into tertiary education. Okay. And I have been engaged in admission one way or the other. Okay. And sometimes you look on to see these SHS students, they are writing exam now. The result will come somewhere November, December. Then, just a few weeks after the release of the results, the universities will do the admissions, and they ought to come to school in a short period of time. Because last year, for example, some universities reopened for the continuing student in October, and they were only waiting for the freshers. So as soon as the result is released, admissions was triggered, and then they were given a short period of time. Most of them could not pay.
Could not raise the money.
Because
the period was too short.
Yeah. Okay. So in some, when you check the data, it's online. When you check the website of the universities, some of them admitted around 19,000, but only about 10,000 people enrolled.
Okay.
Well, one would argue that some of those students would have gotten admission in other schools and the rest. But when you go to other schools too, you see the same picture. Showing up that they admitted this number, but only this number enroll.
Okay.
So that cut across. So when you are doing admission in the following year, you again see a number of very good grades, which means those people, in actual fact, couldn't enroll.
Okay.
So there is a problem that we ought to solve as a country. So for me, I am very happy about that.
Okay.
Because you see, when admission period, when we are doing admission and you come to universities during that period, it's such a painful moment for some people, chaos for some people, stress for some parents and students. And so if there is a promise to take that burden
of them,
of them, that is a remarkable identification of a problem and providing of a solution to resolve that problem for them. So that's the first point. Then again, the question will come, so what will happen to them
once they enter?
So they are now exposed to various opportunities, because you must be in the university before you can apply for Government of Ghana scholarship.
Okay.
You must be in the school before you apply for Get Fund scholarship.
Okay.
You can be in the school before you can apply for GMPC scholarship.
Okay.
And then all the scholarships that are scattered around.
Okay.
So now they will now go into looking for these opportunities from all the scholarship channels.
Okay.
The universities themselves have a minimum number of scholarships available, and the rest. NGOs have minimum scholarship available. So that is much better for them when an opportunity is created for them to enter, and then they can now look out for these opportunities. So I think that is actually resolving a great challenge to many parents and then students.
Great. Then there's also the issue then of where do they stay? It's a major issue on university campuses that hostels are expensive. The ones owned by the university, which are heavily subsidized and cheaper, they don't take as many students as they should. Do you see a solution to that?
Yes. You see, the university themselves have been doing their best to do PPP arrangement for people to come and put up hostels. But there are certain conditions not coming from the universities, but coming from the government. Okay. So sometimes it gets to Ministry of Finance, and then they don't support it.
Okay.
But I think the good news is that now, since the manifesto says that there will be collaboration with the private sector to provide hostel facilities for universities. So it means that hindrance from government will not come again. So we will see more steady improvement in the hostel facilities on the campus. But that will not be immediate. But at least there is a policy framework to address wholesale shortages on university campus, and I believe that one is also a forthright policy to deal with the situation on university campus. And I must state that in some of the cases, the universities are not ready to take more people, not because of lecture halls, but because of accommodation.
Okay.
So if this accommodation issues is resolved gradually, what it means is that the university can naturally take more people to give opportunity to young people to come to the university. And I believe there is another issue surrounding that. That is about the picture I painted shows that there are a number of students who have good passes, but they are not even applying. So with this policy, some will attempt to apply.
Yes, at least.
Therefore, the numbers will go up. So do we have the facility to accommodate that? And that one also is not a huge issue because almost all the public universities have outlets that they can use as off-campus facilities.
Okay.
So if you take UCC, for example, we have a huge facility at Papa Field.
Okay.
We have such facility at other places. So it's just a matter of redesignating them as campuses of the university. And they can take in excess of about 1,000.
Okay.
So Legon have the same facilities. If you go to some technical universities, they are even underutilizing their facilities because they don't get the numbers that ought to be, to fill the space that they have. So it's just a matter of taking inventory of those spaces and then redesignate those spaces, and it will fill, it will satisfy the purpose of the policy.
Now, where I am, I have to make some quick choices. Well, so I'll come to the Bank of Ghana because now I have about 8 minutes more to go.
Okay.
So I would really like to talk about the Bank of Ghana. I also wanted to take your opinion on the 24-hour economy. I'm hoping that we get there before the conversation is. The Bank of Ghana, but first I want to ask whether you think the banking sector cleanup did actually do what it was supposed to do, protect the health of the financial sector. Has it succeeded at that? When you look at the numbers, does it speak to that?
Okay. The banking sector cleanup itself, I have a problem with it.
Okay.
I believe that the approach is not the best for the country.
Okay.
And I also believe that the law have established procedures to follow to do that.
Okay.
And in some cases, some of the procedures have not been followed. In fact, you just listened to Mr. Amobe on the TV3, I think this Monday, and then you heard the things that he was saying. In fact, some of them were not even engaged. But one cardinal principle is that for you to resolve a bank or take somebody's license, there might be arbitration.
Okay.
They didn't follow that, and then there is a litany of steps that ought to be followed. Those steps were not followed. Some people decided to bring investment. The Bank of Ghana indicated that they would not agree to those investments. So they were just helpless. They couldn't do anything. And then our criminal jurisprudence is such that you are not guilty until it's proven beyond reasonable doubt. And there are people who are key investors in some other banks, just because the government charged them to court for causing financial loss to the state. That was enough to take the licenses of those banks. They don't have any problem with a non-performing loan. They don't have any problem with capital. They don't have any problem with liquidity, just because a key shareholder is charged for criminal offenses to court. The court has not passed its verdict, and they use that as a basis to collapse the bank. And all those things uh, have human rights undertone, that ought to be dealt with. So my personal position is that we need to create opportunity for the banking sector cleanup to go through what I call a national reconciliation, so that we create
national reconciliation
we create a platform for all the people who went through the process. They come and vent their experiences, and those that we believe that they have been maltreated, if we are going to apologize to them, we apologize, so that they now know that it is worth being a Ghanaian. And those that we think need some compensation will be compensated, and those that we think need restoration will be restored. That is the way I think we should approach the banking sector cleanup. And the money that have been spent, we need to know whether those money have really been spent or not. So that is my view about. So the forensic audit that the NDCs talk about is something that I support. That should happen for the banking sector cleanup.
But the Bank of Ghana always insists that they needed to do that. If they had not done that, there will be a problem in the financial sector.
Of course, they need to have a reason why they insist. So for the reason, that is their reason. But
you are not convinced?
No, I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced. When we get there, and then we are creating opportunity for Ghanaians who have suffered for nothing. They are narrating their experiences. It is then that Ghanaians will realize what happened was an Armageddon on some people. Now we have seen indigenous banks actually gone down significantly. Indigenous banks control of assets is just around 39% in the country. And majority of those indigenous banks, the data I saw for non-performing loan are really under non-performing loan. You see, ADB, for example, is a public document. They are, I think, at the end of 2023, they were having non-performing loan of about 70%. Yes. So, and these are the banks that has an input of the so-called GAT. So all those things need to be understood. We need not to, allow them to pass under the bridge. Those things have to be unearthed, and then we see the way forward for banking. And that will bring some certainty, so that Ghanaians will know that when I invest, unless I seriously offend the laws, I am sure I will continue to be an entrepreneur in the banking sector.
And then in that sector, the MEC is also suggesting that even the Bank of Ghana itself should be the subject of that level of scrutiny, the way they've acted in terms of financing government to the point of over 70 billion Ghana cedis. Do you agree that that needs to be looked into, especially in the wake of the Bank of Ghana insisting that if they had not done that, we would have been in serious trouble as a country?
Well, I believe laws are made to be obeyed. And if for any reason at the national level, the laws have to be set aside, there are processes. Okay. So the Bank of Ghana law tells us that you can lend to government 5% of last year's revenue. And then the Bank of Ghana law also tells us, if you're in emergency, what you should do. Governor meet with the Accountant General, so you determine what will be the scale of money that is needed to solve the problem. When you determine that, go to Parliament and let parliamentarians know that this is the problem on hand. If you want to stick to the law, we cannot resolve this problem. So you get ratification or approval of what you have determined. And none of those things happened. So whatever Bank of Ghana describes, there are steps prescribed in the law that must be followed. And that has not been done. So it only calls for impunity. It only calls for interference to do what they did.
Okay.
So that will have to be visited so that all of us are aware. Those who go to Bank of Ghana in future will be guided by what has happened, and we save our economy.
That's important to you.
That's very important. Is
That
it Bank of
you
Ghana
need to
is such
set a deterrent that nobody tries that again.
No, we shouldn't allow that. Do you think that what happened in the Bank of Ghana case, if it's in the US, do you know the number of days that the governors will be in Congress answering hard questions, answering very difficult questions? So we should subject our democracy to such development. We shouldn't allow few group of people to think that we have voted them into power, therefore they have the power in their hands. They can do anything without regard to the law. The law is very clear.
Clearly, you're not impressed with even how this has been handled in terms of seeking accountability from the Bank of Ghana. Have we done so well in getting them, like you said, if we're somewhere else, serious questions would have been asked. Have we done well at seeking that accountability from them on that issue?
I do not think so. Even though we had some comment from parliamentarians here and there, but the institution parliament, I believe they could have done more than what they did. So it left some individual parliamentarians writing individual letters to parliament when it should have naturally occasioned an inquiry by parliament, but that didn't happen. So this is a natural inquiry that should take place, but it's as though there are impediments. So individuals will have to go their way to be questioning the Bank of Ghana. The Bank of Ghana will come and reply and the rest. And that is not the best. We need to set the structures very clear so that the Bank of Ghana knows the limit in which it will operate and what it cannot do. And then the processes to follow, if it beyond them, they can follow that process to be able to survey the economy if that is what they think they have done.
Well, let's conclude on the note of the 24-hour economy. There are many descriptions people have given it. One of the recent I've heard was somebody even said it is useless to our current situation. I've heard aspirational. There are those who have applauded it as innovative and important to Ghana's development going forward. Where do you stand on the matter of the 24-hour economy?
Well, there is no policy in my view which is not aspirational.
Okay.
So those who say it's just aspirational, I think they need to look at policies again.
Okay.
So policies are to address issues.
Okay.
So they are aspirational in nature.
Okay.
But I want to indicate that the new Prime Minister of the UK has commissioned a team to look at how they can scale up the 24-hour economy.
Okay.
It is not a mere talk. Okay. It is supposed to enhance their economy. It is supposed to enhance the sectors of the economy.
Okay.
It's supposed to scale up capacity. It's supposed to scale up productivity of the economy. And by doing so, it's supposed to contribute hugely to the growth of the economy. It's supposed to generate new jobs for the economy. And the same thing we are doing here in Ghana. So I heard people say it is possible. So when they say it, then it is possible. When others say it is not possible. But I don't know. I don't think that's the framework within which we should discuss the 24-hour economy. 24-hour economy is real. It's going to impact on agriculture. It's going to impact on industrialization. It's going to impact on energy generation. because we will need more energy to feed our new industry and businesses. Is going to impact on the services sector. It's going to impact on entertainment, whether we like it or not. I've seen some people jokingly saying that chop bars in the nightclubs and the nightclubs are part of the economy. Nightclubs are part of the economy. If I give you the figure of what people transact during casinos in the night, you will be surprised. So it's just to galvanize productivity and scaling up of capacity within the economy and enhancing growth and promoting job creation for our people. And by so doing, we'll also enhance revenue generation for the country.
Prof, nice to see you in studio.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you for the first time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Professor John Gatsi joined us. And I guess if you watch us on Facebook, you saw Prof's face. Please join us in the studio. We are happy to see you.